playing the ISO Yoru. What can you actually do this time around? And it seems like we got some insta locks.
Okay, G2, they are going to go into a double controller look here. At least that's what they're hovering. This is similar to what teams like Gen G have been bringing out, and I think it's super strong. The way this comp works is because you're playing that Yoru, you can drop a flash agent, just have the scout initiator, and you get so much kind of fog of war creation with the 2 smokes on attack. You get great retakes and stole on defense as well. I'm a fan of this, fans.
And the variation that you have for G2 is now you have Leaf on that Vice, and Leaf has been so good as a Sentinel role as well. So not only you're coming out with a double controller, you're also adding more Senti plays. And kicking things off on the defensive side, it is going to be difficult here for XLG to get map control early.
Raga didn't have the double initiators map 1. He's always been good on the Yoru. He's got to lock in here soon.
He does, otherwise XLG will be eliminated. So let's send it back to Brandon Sideshow for map 2.
Oh. Well, we need to see a step up here from XLG. And playing against G2. Not letting their foot off the gas one bit. Change up in the compositions, as the desk was already alluding to. G2, I mean, there's been this heavy shift, I think, as well, gradually, that we've seen this event, where more and more teams are opting into a bit more Viper being played across the board.
HyperX Cypher is going to have to do a good job once the side swap of denying potential lurks from Jonah P. Or Leaf, even, using the Viper wall. But now that we're focused on the attack side, my eyes are on XLG. Can their double initiators combo together to set Raga up for success? This comp is not a million miles away from what they were previously running and having so much success with.
Jordan already going exploring up through mid here with a flash and a horn up towards the top and wrapping around to the side. It's a lot of damage, no slight kill, but Valen might get that exit or not. Happy Way trying to catch him. Paranoia just barely there towards his back and peeking out through the smoke. Trent will be punished.
It's a beautiful idea from G2, and yet no kills whatsoever.
Spike planted.
All going the way of XLG. They now have C control, Garage Lurk, 5v2. Couldn't get a better beginning.
All offside as well. No smokes alive. Valen has been dropped. One way propped up on top of it. It's inevitable at this point. XLG going to be able to get that strong start they were hoping for. Raga from behind. Just trying to tap away there, ghost in hand. Jorgamo puts him down, but his team has got it all handled.
So really nice idea, the flash and the haunt. Caught onto 4 or 5 players there in grass. But despite doing damage, they couldn't actually finish off a kill.
One enemy
And XLG
remaining.
turned the fight on them. Ah.
Let's go!
XLG previously were running the Tejo Breach version of this composition. Very similar. I don't think moving away to Silver Breach hurts you too much at all. Changes things slightly, but should still put Raga in a good opportunity to get some big entries. Which, honestly, every comp they've played so far has not really done that. Empowered their star player.
Big group pump. Discipline going to be required here when you're clearing out towards a lobby. XLG making moves towards it, but they're just contacting the barrel. Might just be sticking out towards the side and expected here by Raga.
Best start that he's had in a map so far. 4-1.
Beginning. Head's just poking. Up over towards the top of that ledge. Happy Way happy to pop them and leave. Last one left standing. Not for much longer. 2-0 beginning here for XLG. This is what they needed to get the blood pumping ever so slightly.
And to get some belief, too.
Yeah.
I think they were playing with massively lacking confidence on Icebox. It does make some level of sense. They're a team that's had to undergo
Enemy
a
remaining.
roster change coming into Masters Toronto, which has
go,
hurt them. And then they've been rattled in their opening game. They got to pick Sentinels and got kind of destroyed. 13-6, 13-6. This is the first time it really feels like they've got their feet underneath them. Smoke over towards Bricks, pushes Trent back, taking a bit of short and long control. No immediate reaction from G2, and XLG back it up. They are a team that's good at playing the macro usually.
Taking a bit of A-long control. Giving it up now. Coconut going to be rejoining the rest of his team. Leaf. Flash and a drone up and over. As the Thorn's dead, a bit of spam for the war. Yeah, it's not going to be saving you from much here. Raga, it's off to an absolute heater. Beginning here of Haven.
Jorg's thinking about how to get past this trip over towards the C side of the map because he's pushed up and got good information. It's allowing them to stack 3 players over here towards A.
Players up. G2 might be able to put a stop to this. Paranoia's already going to be sweeping past. Vulnerability. All going to be used here with a snake bite. Aftershock into the corner, clears out Trent. Puts a bit of fear into XLG as well. Now they're going to start scurrying into a different direction, right into Jorgmo perhaps, but no, right. B seems to be the goal.
Right into where the wall was, but they've gotten a bit lucky. The Leaf's already gone.
They're sidestepping straight back into this one. Valin takes out Raga. Coconut got to try and hold this one down on through the bottom of mid, but here comes the re-exploration of G2.
Weapon here.
Through Link now, 3 players stacked up, grouped up. Ready to explode. They spotted it, just trying to see if they can get any sort of easy access to these fights. Open sight lines. XLG not willing to get them too easily. Still, too much to overcome. And heads are rolling. G2, how do they do it?
Slightly better weaponry. Slightly poor crosshair placement from HyperX in his position at the back of the B site. No util for either team. And G2's coordination makes the difference. That could have been an opportunity for XLG to win a really big bonus. They got themselves in a nice spot. Opening pick, an avenue into B.
1 enemy remaining.
I don't think they had full knowledge that all of those players were coming through the A connector. Raga did go down to 2 of them on A though, so I think they should have been setting up some level of crossfire there. It looked like they were just worried about other avenues. Now, though, we could see a set play round. XLG, usually good with these. Once they have ults, off the rip, Raga pops the dimensional drift.
And this one flying forwards, but the Thorns were dead nice and early. It's a shock dart sent flying in.
I'm back.
Gains himself backside control, though. Out towards into Gong. Has a flash up and under. This is G2 playing this one fast with the flood defense. They want to try and take this one by storm. And they're overwhelming.
Spike down, B.
Stinger in the hand of Jorgmo obtains the upgrade in the end, and Viva's the last one left. Can't stand against it. The might of G2, when they turn up the tempo, no stopping them.
But it's rare that we see them play for fast flood defending like that. Usually a little bit of a slower team, a little bit more happy to let you get the site and wait for a plant to go down. Here they pop through almost instantly.
1 enemy remaining.
They had that read really early that the ult was going into B,
Spike down.
and there were players ready to pop flash through that instantly. The C's as well, grabbing big value from Trent. And XLG, while they looked like they were in a position to go up 3-0, now the score's even and their economy's shattered.
Smoke. Placed down here by XLG, looking to hopefully get a few more. HyperX. It's called Trent. Stepping straight back up, and hello!
I know exactly.
2 players toppled. XLG kick the doors down over towards A, and they're going to cause G2 to scurry their way around. It's only Jonah P who's going to be home.
It's unbelievable value from HyperX. They're picking up these guns. Jonah's got to try to stop them going for something quick.
Yeah, their only chance is Jonah P stalling this one out. Tucks himself into the short position, looking to try and get embedded. The damage on the HyperX Prior is enough to try and stop him. TP in forwards, but again, no one's covering. No one's watching it. Doubled up though, around towards it. You got to try and do the most now. The XLG rifles there, but lines up for Lee.
If you can't do something
A
right,
small
don't
mistake
do
at the
it
very
all.
end from XLG. One of the players not going wide enough on the swing, and Leaf, he gets so much damage done, skewers them. A headshot from the Guardian. And XLG almost managed to make a pretty impossible round happen there off the back of HyperX.
1 enemy remaining. Last player standing.
I think credit there, so much of it needs to go to Jonah P though as well. Because with that all pop, with the snake bite, with his kill in short, he bought enormous amounts of time for Valin and Leaf to come through into A. Yeah. The paranoia also landed onto a ton of players as they were coming through long. XLG were not fast enough to actually commit off the back of the Cypher ultimate.
Stalled all the way out there from heads-up thinking, really, at Jonah P. This is the reoccurring issue, I think, that we've been spotting now, watching XLG. Whether it's the additions as well, where the communication's going a bit miss, because they're having to compensate, I think, for MIDI coming in. But it's slow. There's a lot of hesitation in terms of the steps that XLG take.
I think they actually might want to play a bit slower, though, too. I think that's probably what Voya might be discussing with them here, is that you don't have to rush a spot like that. You actually could have gone and retrieved the weapons in long and short, and then called a pause. You know that they're going to be panicking and running towards A. So just pump the brakes and play the player advantage. If you're not in prime form with your communication, and you have to play slowly anyway because things need to be translated on the fly, you might as well play a really structured, slow game.
Take flight.
First line of defense is going to be dealt with. No more thorns in through Garage to slow this one down.
They are potentially facing into the operator, though. Jorgamo's picked this one off. He's got it facing towards C right now, but could easily swing towards Garage.
The one gate crash available in through spawn. That's his get out of jail card, in case he is overwhelmed.
Leaf also just used his Vice Flash to re-clear towards Garage. They dropped the Viper wall, flashed in, and they know that there's nobody been inserted there.
Trent's doing a lot here. He's breaking a dart. A lot of presence here is going to be flashed up. And it has pulled players successfully over towards A, so working the map a bit slower from XLG.
Where are you?
And they found that avenue. Like you said, Jorgamo's now no longer on C with the operator.
Oh, they're still going to commit to A.
They've got all options open.
What is the call that they're making? They had players ready to go into a potential C split. They're going to go over towards A anyway. It's being reinforced. There's players here waiting off to the side, including Trent, tucked into the corner.
30
Inside the
seconds
Viper
left.
orb, and Raga's dealt with TP into the back. Nothing else to really supplement the rest of that one after shock. And there it is. Trent's pushed out into the open, but with that operator in the hands of Jorgamo, short is on lockdown. Flash, dodge, up and over towards the top, and supplementary util! And it's a scramble, a mad dash from XLG.
G2 with this new composition and a ton of ideas of how they want to play it on the A site. We already saw Jonah in one of the previous rounds lock it down. This time, you got Jorg sending a cute little flash up and over the top, and then picks up Mini.
Enemy remaining.
You see Trent hiding inside the Viper orb at A long. A really aggressive position from him. But he's also playing anti-flash and can turn around to deal with that gate crash from Raga on the entry. Cute ideas. The G2 get 4 in a row. Knocking XLG's economy down once again. And Happy Way, if he tries to take space.
Oh, straight to the dome. Call it overkill. An immediate reposition as well. Jorg's going to be in a different spot. Nothing's going right now for XLG.
Oh, I mean...
What?
That one's supposed to be... You got to get a replay of that. That's supposed to be headed towards backside, and Raga just walked in front of it.
And at this point, if morale is not in the bin already,
Nothing's perfect.
I don't know where it is.
That's what's perfection.
That's a brutal one.
I know that they're having comms issues, but...
What in the hell is happening there?
Get Sean on speed dial. I mean, show us this. What's going on here?
Oh, alone. No, that's a brutal one. We've been there. We've all been there.
So the utility does interact with your own team's clones.
We learned that the other day.
Yeah, you can shoot a recon on top of its head if you want, but I mean, you can also shoot a shock dart and do crazy damage to your own squad.
A brutal one, and it's fast going from XLG. Eurowalt, or OMEN, I should say.
They were thinking about it.
TP up towards heaven is going to be broken. Raga forwards here to breach ult. Try and lay way towards the sides. Trent's already there. Perfect with the util. Haunt just paints out Raga's outline. Jorgamo even going to be using his own dimensional drift out. Spots it out. Plenty of players left waiting around to the sides. Re-exploration, re-clearing. Cord 4, TP. Flash waiting. Primed and let loose here. And G2 have pouncing on the opportunity to draw out even more blood. XLG not able to take a breath in these moments, but they may have an opportunity to go a bit further. There's a game of timings happening here. Happy Way drifted in through mid.
But I think that the round should just be dead. I mean, the spike is surrounded by G2 players.
There's no retrieving it, is there? On the side here is Leaf waiting. And now, Just happy way. He's earned himself that decent spot to play in, but like you mentioned,
Yeah, I mean, what
30
you
seconds
do?
left.
What can you do in this spot? It's not like you're going to be going for the pathing to get the spike, is it? I mean, how would you even begin to pull that off? Beautiful ideas, though, again from G2. They're so aware of the breach ult that is out here for XLG. They break the Omen ultimate, or at least cause enough pressure for it to get cancelled. And then
10
Trent
seconds left.
is on site, baiting out the breach ultimate, and then throws a haunt that is perfect, catches instantly onto Raga's TP. Trent has been a nightmare for Raga to deal with. On one of the A exec, Trent was hiding inside the Viper orb. On another one of them, he's throwing a haunt and killing him through a smoke. And then they're instantly back through. That's just as Raga goes through his teleport. There's no chance for him to break that.
One enemy remaining.
And of course, the flash re-clear with the teleport out through A long. Beautiful ideas. And it's all working.
That goes there.
XLG look to show G2 a bit of their own medicine here. Stingers on 3 of the players. And as overall, in case things get a little bit tricky, XLG will be trying to win this one.
Shock's not going to do much there for the Vice Wall. Obviously intended for the Thorns that have been placed prior. TP into the back, and you just can't get out of dodge. Still, it's there, available, ready, and wasting. Jonah P wants to try and flood his way in, and the vulnerable is across the board. XLG, though, the ones dominating. Oh, as I say that, Leaf is going to take out 2 of them. Leaves it into a 1v2 spot for Trent. We've seen this guy in the clutch. We know what he's capable of.
Spike.
Coconut's going to be able to put down a one-way for the spike. They can play over towards long, but it will offer potentially opportunities for Trent to pick them off if his aim can be good enough. Vandal, powerful at long range. And I think he should start to get the read that they're playing off-site here down C long.
Reveals his position. Now time to send some util flying forwards here. Sees, deaded. That's going to be cutting up the close angle here. Slight tap, trying to force these players out wide into the open. And Happy Way takes the peak. Time ticking though onto this spike, and the spot just unwinnable now. Happy Way doesn't land that shot though. Still, there might be an opportunity. There might be a chance. But a difficult shot to hit. All the way through still.
XLG chose to play the time there, choosing to go for 2 1v1s instead of double swinging. The clock had been starting to tick a little bit.
One enemy.
But I think, listen, dial back, big picture. It's a good round from XLG. They came into this one with mostly a light buy, 3 stingers, bit of a thrifty. And they've come away with the victory. 6-3 though, they're gonna need more of that. Because this actually looks like the most kind of get up and go that they've had all tournament, I would argue. But still, they've only been able to put 3 together.
Haunt up and over the top, a bit of spam from Jonah P. He's doing some work, he's doing some damage. The bullets landed onto Happy Way. He's dropped down to just barely anything.
XLG have got a really nice read right now that this wall is up on front B.
Jonah P, you're hard stuck onto this angle right now. Raga's got you watched. Flash dodged, and there's a peek, and there's a get out. Raga.
It's a good punish. He's got great information just from the sound. Bit bold. I'm not exactly sure what Jonah was going for there with the hop up. Trent takes a shot as Happy Way feeds into this B lurk position. XLG, they're playing slowly. And a kill happened there on both ends. Raga also punished Trent for an info peek.
Raga hasn't cleared that. I think he's missed it on top of the box. And he's just out into the open. Jogamo there with a trade. Raga might have just done enough though. Still that TV forwards. Midi, he's got to be sharp with it. Rifle in hand, finally putting a stop to it. Jogamo's running rampant ever so slightly here. Midi and Viva being left to do it now. Jump spot out into the open. Stray shots and damage and spamming all. Oh my, no coverage in sight. Not like this. Not like this.
A jumping right click, magnetized onto the head of Midi. Leaf knew exactly that he had that opportunity to try to force the play. Knew that the player short was going to be trying to defend. He plays it beautifully, but also Lady Luck very firmly on his side.
How's he getting away with that?
It's not like Midi was 1 HP either.
No.
But he leaps out of heaven for a Red Bull clutch in a round where Raga, I think, had done what should have been enough.
One enemy remaining.
Look at this again.
Joking.
Absurd.
Choking.
Oh my God! They didn't need that.
No.
I mean, if we're being honest, I don't think they need that. But it's 7-3 and XLG down to Sheriffs again.
Can't catch a break. Clone's going to be broken nice and early, though. This one causing a few problems. Shock dart. Close. A lot of util is going to be primed in the hands of these players. XLG looking to potentially go now. There it is. Fault line forwards and the C's to meet them. Locking them down. XLG can step no further. At least for now, Varaga re-exploring. Risks to be taken with just the Sheriff in hand.
XLG did win that thrifty before.
There's a head. Clean off the shoulders. Valent's going to be done. No more.
It does feel like Raga's starting to get a feel of the game.
Heating up.
He's playing very much on his own, though. It's not like he's using that initiator util. Mostly just setting himself up for kills.
Way. I mean, he was dragging most of the G2 players away, but a flash got a connection. Contact over towards A, and it's caused them scurrying back and over, but XLG are playing the long con. Going back over towards Raga, why not? But he earned himself the entirety of the C site.
It's a very dangerous rotate from Viva going through mid there, exposing himself to B and Garage. But they make it through. No casualties.
30 seconds left.
Should be a plant.
Lots shots fired off. Jordan Moore looking for a lucky connection in all. Raga, he's forward again. And this guy is indomitable. Raga!
Send 5 more. We can do this again.
Right when they needed him most.
That's what you're hoping for from XLG's superstar.
Double.
Face your fear!
Knew that he had to make the play. The only player with a rifle. Utterly solo as well.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we were talking so much about having watched the guy in China, how brilliantly he's usually set up by initiator utility and by the team's game plans. He does occasionally have solo plays here and there, but this round was just all on his own. Deadlifting XLG.
Beautiful. Barely a hand poking out. Trent. He's going to need a bandage for that one. Drop down to 33 health.
But you can't do that consistently. And he won't even get a chance in this round. Runs into Jorgamo, takes an op bullet to the chest. And now the rest of XLG have to try to put a game plan together without their star player, without the dimensional drift. And it's the last one in the half.
Cover going out.
We're looking to spot out these players now. Dimensional drift sees the two of them.
That's great info.
I'm back.
You know that the Cypher's lurking somewhere. You know that all 3 of the other players were over towards A. And Jorg, he's already anticipating that they're going to be making a bit of a pivot. Happy Way's caught the timing past the flash.
Yeah, he has. No acknowledgement on that one.
Very fast timing.
About as good as the timing as he could possibly hope for. It's still being jiggled, but yeah, Leaf unanticipating it.
Cage triggered.
Leaf even went for a reaction Thorns pop there at 40 seconds. Jorg's on an island.
And Happy Way.
30
Making sure that he
seconds
can
left.
really take advantage of the fact here over towards C. This is Valen, he full sticks it. He full sticks it. He's all the way in through into the back and still cleaned up. In the end, XLG now. They do have finally open access to that C site.
This
What
would
a
be
good work being put in.
This would be an incredible round for XLG to get a 7-5 half, more than they could have dreamed of early.
Happy Way. He's got the operator in his hands here. He misses the first shot though, and a bit of spam. Trying to run this guy down all the way. The ults though have been earned up midi. Stuns them all. Sends them packing. 7-5. A good finish here for XLG. Finally, a bit of fire in the belly from some of these players.
And a poetic way to end as well. Round 11, a complete solo play from
One
Raga
enemy
to
remaining.
ace and carry his team across the finish line. And then in the final round, Raga goes down early and the rest of the team get it done without him. Both halves of XLG working well.
I don't really like committing to things. I'm scared. But when Verizon announced that I could lock in a low price for 3 years, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Can you hear me now?
XLG, much better start at the beginning here to this map, at least, against G2. Showcasing finally, I think, as well, what we all kind of expected of them. At least before the tournament, you watch this team, you see a player like Raga really stepping up. And he's at the top here for the Coinbase Econ report. That ace put him right on the correct track, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, especially considering that it was on an eco round. So he didn't even bring a weapon into that round, and he still somehow came away with an ace. That was spectacular, but that's what you need to be seeing more of from him. It's the first map where I feel like you're actually getting to witness the real Raga. The Raga that we've been seeing across stage one. Because if you didn't follow China, you'd be tuning into these XLG games going, well, this guy's, he's not a top duelist.
I mean, how the hell are they the top seed?
Right. But a combination of the roster move that they had to make before the tournament, a bit of nerves, having never played on the big stage before, and being a bit cold because they didn't play in the Swiss. It's taken them until now for us to really see that potential. It might be too little too late, though. XLG must win here on Haven in order to prolong their stay in Toronto. And G2, they're going to be looking to get back into that dominant form they were on Icebox, where they tore through the Chinese squad.
Both of these teams be bitterly disappointed of an early exit here.
And that's an early exit for Raga in the round. Tried to take a fight, hoping his hand was still hot.
Slow down called for here by G2. Injecting a bit of a pause, I suppose, into the play and re-exploration in through mid. XLG have got a lot of space off the back of this, a lot of information is going to be gathered.
That flash tells them that there's somebody either peeking garage or on the flank.
TP into the corner. Uh-oh. Snake bite round towards the back. Flash into your face on top of it. Jorgamo trying to take that fight, and he was set up relatively well. G2, though, can they follow up on the most of it? You get a trade onto midi, but this anchor smoke is brutal to get through, and Viva just trying to weave in and out between it. Valin drops one, dropped himself, traded in a moment's notice. Up towards the top, though, no more smokes. Up towards Heaven, and Happy Way just poking his head out. Spike has been dropped out into the open.
Yeah, and that's a little bit tough, because they know there's a player over towards Heaven. Happy Way with a ghost and very little health. How do you block this off?
30 seconds left.
Just has to be the double hold as they reclaim it, retrieve it. Scurrying back now to safety, getting that plant down.
Yeah, and I think Happy Way missed his timing to have influence in this round.
Could have potentially done it, but now G2 are going to be tucked in safe positions, trying to play a bit more discipline, and there it is. As soon as you catch the contact, Leaf is supposed to be the pivotal point. Jonah P, the one to capitalize.
And let's rewind to the very beginning of this pistol. You see here, a stun getting thrown out. In theory, you've got that breach sober composition that should be a little bit better at locking off A lobby and setting Raga up for the early fights. But G2 are through. I mean, they got fast into that area, wall up, wall down, and they're in. G2 should be playing slower mid-rounds with the Viper in their composition, the double smokes comps, set up people like Leaf or Jonah to go for lurks. But XLG are going to be wanting to force fights like this one.
Jones going to be dropped down, single digits. Stave off most of the aggression, though, that XLG were going for on their eco.
It's a Bucky and a Marshall being brought into this one. So there's danger in long-range angles and somewhere close, although Happy Way's actually playing the Bucky.
I've never seen this.
Over towards A long.
Yeah.
Really bizarre. But it's also not an area that G2 are currently exploring.
All eyes towards C. Be onto Viva and Coconut to see if they can clear the way. Viva, a bit of supplementary there with a spam. He needed to defend the sliders of corners, and Leaf is catching a timing. You can hear it, the footsteps. Raga was anticipating it, and there's a Bucky coming into work.
Upgrades, potentially. Downgrades, I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay. Do you want a stinger? No, I'd rather have the Marshall, apparently. Happy Way will have to get a run on, though. Try and put a stop to this here. Port over towards the oh my God, man!
That looked sharp, but he was also facing the haunt. So it would have been lit up like a Christmas tree on Trent's screen. 3 players trying to come back in here. They've got a Bucky or a Stinger to work with. It's going to be tough.
Let's see what they can do. Util readily available here with a fault line at least. Alongside the dart. Paranoia, hold on. Trenches down into the open! You got to try and land those shots though, and he still gets the one We're eventually going down. Discipline being played. G2 just waiting for the game to come to them. And they know that game well.
There's been damage done there. I mean, if XLG can put together a decent buy, which they should be able to, because they only forced Marshall and Bucket, they've actually chunked away at G2's economy a little bit. But this is now going to be a must-win round for them. G2 are coming in with double stingers.
Play clutch, play clutch, it's fine.
I mean, to be clear, they can't hear Josh in that moment, but hard when you're a coach not to vocalize what you're thinking. Here's that stun like I'm talking about. XLG's comp is better for A lobby control.
Raga to take out Valen, but he is traded.
Yeah, so best case he's managed is going 1-for-1, and I'm not sure that that's enough in a round like this. G2 slow things down. XLG take the response into mid. This flash, Vice flash, up on their screens, always available to get the info.
3 players. Trying to wait now. Plenty of bullets left waiting, and more where that came from. Jonah P. He knows where that final player could be lurking around towards the side, and he does a decent job of it still into the 1v1. It's Leaf versus Viva.
And it's a must-win here for Viva. It's G2's bonus. They can still afford to buy into the next. Viva can't.
Mutual setup. Plant is down, and the game of timings is just missed by Leaf, but still, it's going to be wrapping this one all the way around to the side, and a bit of patience now played as well.
Viva's had a nightmare of a map so far. He's 2-10. This would be everything for the guy.
Flash hasn't seen much. He's got to reveal his hand. Deep dart down, and it clears one of the angles for him. Doesn't know where to expect Leaf, though. Creeping around, crawling around this guy. It's all over the place. Practically in the walls.
And it's a gorgeous plant position from Leaf. Makes it feel like he's playing towards Cubby or Long. But actually, when he wraps around there, there's no area where Viva can be on the spike and it's not just completely in the open.
Spike down, attacker spawn.
Jonah does a great job picking off both players here. But I thought that the double initiators might be able to pull through for XLG. I think that round, though, was everything for the Chinese squad.
Nice, Nate. Good shit, bro.
That's a bonus conversion here for G2. 10-5 now. Not letting their foot off the gas.
Time to jump.
XLG were given an in with the rounds that they accrued up on that prior half, but G2
Here.
putting a stop to it here and now. Trying to get cheeky there, hopping around to the side. Hold on, hold on. Happy way with the Sheriff. Shots are flying and rattling down that sight line. 3 versus 3. What it's come down to now here. Playing a bit offside still. Cooking this up. They're going to have smokes to play this one. You can't be entirely off the side, and G2 I think have just realized it. Now starting to play up a little bit more. Late lurk now from Leaf. It's going to be that backup policy, but with a bit of pace, might not get a chance to do it here. Shots already fired. Valen has been caught from behind. The TP down towards Long. You are completely out of the picture. Jorgamo is forwards, and guns need to be at the ready. It's Viva again versus Leaf once more. Can he do it? Tapping out, searching, hunting.
It's deja vu for Viva again. Leaf hops up to Logs and delivers another bullet to the side of the head. Tragedy for XLG. That's a round that G2 misplayed a little bit to get into a tricky situation. They weren't quite ready for what was going on with the trip. I mean, Jorg just beefed his movement a little bit. And then things cascaded from there.
One enemy remaining.
To be honest, Jorg redeemed himself with 3 in the round. He really made up for it. But a couple of teammates got killed, and Josh is chuckling about that. So similar to previous.
And the pressure is just off them at this point. You could maybe make an argument, I think, at the beginning of this series that G2 are the ones that are feeling like they have to put their best foot forwards. They've been locked down into the lowers when all expectations are sky high for them. Playing against an underdog team, usually those situations at these big events, sometimes the pressure gets the better of them.
And I think it's really reasonable to say that both teams, while they have similar paths, Ascension teams, meta playing teams, #1 seeds, struggled in their upper bracket game here at Toronto, there is a different weight of expectation for these squads. G2 it's hard really to point at another squad that's been the best team of 2025 so far. It's not really definitive. Nobody has the crown currently. But if you were going to point at somebody, you'd probably point at G2. And that's despite them not actually winning a global tournament. But having said that, that's where the pressure increases. But they've just got away to such good starts here.
And you can just see it on their faces and all the replays and all the cams. G2 are all smiles. XLG can feel it, slowly losing their chance. But staying alive here in a global event. Flash and a peek alongside that horn. Viva!
That's big.
Okay.
That's redemption for Viva.
Answers back. 2, make it 3, make it 4! God! A bit of fire, bit of fury, inserted into it. Raw spam maybe to get the job done towards the end. He's one away from the ace. And it would do wonders for the confidence. Leave us dodging, juking, desperate to stay alive. And moving the chance, denies him his chance in the sun.
But no, hold on.
Now hold on.
Pump the brakes, there's a minute still left here. I've seen Leaf work magic before, and his wall gets dripped over towards C.
There's a 1v2 though, and he's walking knife out. Doesn't realize the happy way is already there.
Okay. And the adrenaline can start seeping away for XLG. Those are good kills for Viva to get. He was hanging out at the bottom of the scoreboard for such a long time. I think he only had 1 kill in the first half.
Got to get the confidence back somehow.
And he's also lost 2 vitally important 1v1s against Leaf.
Yeah.
Go away.
So to be able to just step up and rip through 4 of the players, getting his team back into things. That's a big one, that's important.
Still a bit quiet from XLG's side of things. Mood obviously dampened, I think, by that scoreline, but 1 round at a time is how it has to be.
Double stinger, Valen and Leaf, they're both incredible with them. But in theory, it's a weaker economy. And they're only heading to the site where Viva is completely alone.
He's walking all the way down mid, he's exploring. Jordan with a dimensional drift, clears all of the A site out, spots it. Multiple players there, Raga taking a peek. Let's claim Jonah P.
And this allows them now to use the Vice ultimate for post-plant.
Midi to tap. He's forced out the old early here. Players going to be colliding, clashing. Jorgamo tries to step forward. He's going to try and stem that bleeding, shore it up, at least momentarily here, round to the side. And the ult's going to be extended. Oh my goodness, he's just swapping around the weaponry. Valen just walking. Happy way from on high. Operator in hand after shot, pushing him out wide. And it's just left down to Trent in that 1v2 scenario. And Happy way, sight set on the appropriate position.
3 kills, I think, with the op in that round in 2 different players' hands. Raga got the opener onto Jonah P, playing pretty aggro on site. But this round was all about the ults. XLG were anticipating that G2 were going to lead with something. Let's say Vice ultimate, maybe the dimensional drift. So they ended up playing pretty soft on A, tried to come back in with a breach ultimate, got stopped.
No one
And
can
then
interrogate.
skirmishes. Opportunities for them to peek a player in here and there, and Happy Way from Heaven getting massive value with the op. Now G2's economy is properly dead in the water. Still, the same 2 players with stingers in hand. But everyone else now, instead of rifles, down to sheriffs. This defensive setup is now working. Partly because they've had the op, and partly because XLG feel like they're playing with a little bit more aggression, perhaps?
Time to jump.
An ability to take it to G2.
Pressure relieved.
There's 1 trip broken at the front of B, but Happy Way still has a 2nd trip in a deeper position, so he's not as worried about just getting walked on. Garage, though, is currently pretty dangerous. They have this camera that gives them information into Garage, but it got smoked off.
It's cleared through. Jorgamo inserts his presence there now over towards B in the Garage.
And they don't have a re-clear protocol for this. I mean, if they had the breach on this side of the map, I'm sure they would. But for now, with their current defensive setup, you've just got to stay here.
1 big glaring question mark. Happy Way's going to be watching onto most of this here, but it does drag bodies away from it. G2, you've got 30 seconds left. Got to start to decide where you want to go at some
30
point.
seconds left.
Potentially a B pop, but Jordan will be in a backstab. Looks like that is where they're going to be trying to go for here, but Midi has plenty of util to dissuade this. Trip. Almost going to be triggered round from the side here. Sheriff not doing enough. Happy Way Nearsighted matters not. Fever offloading it, buying time now for the Flood to try and get in. There's 7 seconds left. G2 trying to get that plan down here. Running and gunning and Coconut. Just laying claim down now onto the side leaf. There's the last one left. Got into his hands. Defuse is sticking. Shorty's round the corner. And if that's what it takes.
The game plan was so nice as well from G2. They put so much effort into inserting Jorgamo into that top garage position, and then threw a paranoia to try to flush the player into his sightlines. And look at Happyway here. He's blinded up, knows he's being shot multiple times, and just spams towards garage. Finds his kill. And the rest of XLG flood on in and are somehow able to overpower the Viper's pit too.
11-8.
The economy's not in an amazing spot here for XLG, honestly, because that came down to the wire. But it's G2 who are going to be taking another timeout right before they get rifles back. This round could be incredibly important. Earlier on, it was XLG on the bonus when they were 10-5 down, I think it was. That's where we were looking at them like, okay, they might have let this game slip away from them at this point. They had a chance to get it back in the game, back into the second half, and they let it slip. Well, here's another big moment, a pivotal moment for the economy, for the ults as well, because G2s are going to start cycling again if they win this.
If there was ever a chance for XLG to do it, racking together these rounds one at a time has to be done. You can see the timeline on our screens. You were saying it, Josh. Yeah, it's been streaky, but pivotal round nevertheless. G2 taking that timeout, respect shown. They know how easily you can lose grip of a map of a series.
Now, one of the things I was thinking we might see is a trip over here towards short, for example, which just kind of stops the Viper lurk from happening that you would expect. And instead, it's been Happyway playing mostly towards C the entire time. He's got a trip for garage window, in fact, this time. So if you try to get into that deep position that Jorg played in previously,
hold on.
You're done.
AC, yeah, we're seeing it. It's going to be that nightfall scattered forwards, no connections. TP now into the back by Valen. I know it's all clear.
Oh, fake as well into spawn, so they do have to respect that. There's an Omen smoke in the defender's spawn that they might have teleported into.
It's going to bleed time out of XLG where they have to try and at least defend this one. Still, he's ahead of it as that smoke just dissipates. Jorgamo, he's wide out into the open. Trying to flash his way in, but Valen's still towards the back. This is going to be clearing up the question marks. Here for XLG.
Important trade.
They're going to be clearing up most of the map as well. Into, through, and the side. B side.
They have flash, they have recon.
There it is, recon up and over. Smoke. Dropped up, a bit of spam from G2. Is this what it's going to take? Is this how they're going to be claiming this round here? Stepping forwards and past it. The line of scrimmage that was layered down, and it's stray bullets follow the tracers. Time has run out. G2 are up to 12.
A very fast hit coming out of the timeout there. Straight out of the strat book. Good input from Josh RT. Just gets them one round, but an important one. Yeah. The important one, potentially. That could have been everything as well. Jorg losing his life a little too easily. But the players in the clutch are rock solid as always for G2.
Bro, the Thorn is so funny, just hearing like that crunch, crunch, crunch when he's running through.
It's good to see that even the simple things can delight the players after their thousands of hours of play.
This is G2 on the cusp of sending XLG home.
And Raga with it all to do. Bodies coming towards him, fast and unknown.
Very tight angle to behold. Just catching the clone. Takes that first contact, forcing the TP back at him. So Raga evacuating. Through the back though, this is Happyway hard committed. He's decayed down. Thorns and a snake bite, it's all offloaded. There was nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Foul concoction that G2 just brewed up, and now with a player advantage, site control is theirs. We're looking at Raga to see if he can be the difference maker. Peeks out wide, they'll follow up at all. It's the Vice Sword offloaded now. Thorns scattered wide. And with it, XLG's hopes. Jorgamo taking point, taking contact, and bodies are dropped.
At a moment's notice, it's G2 who move on. And XLG sent packing.